Alright guys, so back with another video here. This time we are going to check out not just a regular light. This is the Crimson Traced Railmaster Pro. This is model CM-204. This is the light and green laser combination. Has was it 3 or 4 different modes? So right there we've got laser on, and just to clear something up I keep seeing, notice how you can see the dot but there's no beam. Yeah, the only time a civilian mounted laser for a gun or something like that, anytime the beam is visible, it's because there's a lot of stuff in the air. If you just have clean open air like this, it's not going to be visible to you. So that's something I hear repeatedly over and over, including by people that say they're gun guys or they know what they're talking about because they were veterans. And well, not in this case. They might know a lot, but they apparently didn't know this. So there you go. So the different modes. Okay, so the modes that there are I think this will start out in light and laser together. Ooh, that's really bright. Yeah, okay, so light and laser together, and then it's light and laser together, laser only, light only, light and laser with the little pulse on the light. The laser itself is not pulsing, that's just the light. Okay, activation is by either panel. It's pretty standard for these types of devices here. Just press it, and let's take that off of strobe. So you just press the either one of these switches, just tap it, and that's how you control the on-off there. Changing modes is from off, you can do it like that. You just hold both of them, and it's going through the modes there. So it looks like it does not work from off or from on. So if you want to change cycle through modes, turn it off and then hold them both down at the same time. So this worked out really well for me. I'm going to take the battery out. The battery goes in here. You can probably see how you would get the battery out. I think I probably can't show you how to do it on camera, even though it's pretty obvious, because that might be considered instructional. So I'm going to go ahead and take the battery out, and then I'll start the video again. Okay, so now we've got our battery out, and here's the tail cap here. That's what you're looking at inside. Can't really see very well. See, this is your light, and this is your laser. I don't know, is it still called a diode with a laser? I don't really know. But just a simple, basic thing. There's not really a whole lot of threading to it. There is a little rubber O-ring seal. These are not rated for submersion or anything crazy. Here's your battery here. Battery type is CR2, which is fairly common for cameras, or used to be anyhow, for different types of cameras, digital cameras. I think some of them were using it, but I saw this more in some of the older 35mm, well, now they're older 35mm cameras. So you can probably find this at a lot of camera stores. I'm not going to guarantee you can find it anywhere, but you should be able to find it. And you can see how deep that battery sits in there, and then the spring is fairly big, you know, got some compression there. Alright, so I gotta put this back on, and then I'll start the video again. Okay, so we've got our battery back in there, and some of the features on here, you can see that this is the clamp for your Picatinny rail, so it uses Picatinny, and it comes with these little insert things, and there are several different ones to fit different models of guns. It just helps hold it a little bit better spot. You could use it without it, but it seemed like it was a little bit more secure using it. This does slide forward and back, so it lets you adjust a little bit how it rides even with the inserts there. So that's kind of nice. You can see most of these devices that I've seen, the paddles are pretty short, which is kind of good because you don't want to accidentally hit it when you're putting your finger in a trigger guard. But it also makes it a little bit harder to reach if you have short fingers. So you can see this gun is empty. There's nothing in it. People trip out on that. Okay, so we got it mounted back on here again. So just so you can see what I'm talking about, I picked it up with my left hand, so I'm going to pull this over. You can see this is a pretty large trigger guard area here. So I guess if you're wearing gloves, that's great. But if you're trying to activate something, if you have small hands, see, I just have average size hands, usually either large in gloves, which most men seem to actually wear large. I think that kind of makes them not large, but so I can reach this, no problem. But if it was any shorter, I'd have a hard time with it. I think if we had a normal trigger guard, you know, it'd be about there, so that would obviously be very easy to activate. And this, it's just these two screws on the rails, and I know a lot of people would probably think that that's not enough to really hold it on. I've put at least 2,000 rounds through this gun with this laser mounted to it. And, oh wait, excuse me, about 500 rounds with this laser. But then I had another model that was the red laser with the light, and I put it about 2,000 or 3,000 rounds through this gun. This is a 9mm with it mounted, and that's all I used to mount was the same stuff. It's the other ones, it's exactly the same thing as far as I can tell, except the laser is red on it. So what else it comes with is it came with a battery, and I believe they didn't used to be, but the Railmaster Pro series, I believe they opened that up to the batteries for life thing that Crimson Trace does. It comes with a little adjustment tool, we'll get to that in a minute, and then it comes with the insert that's on the gun with the laser right now, but it comes with these other three. So it says it can't list every gun to use which insert for, but it does break it down more or less by brand. So the major brands, so Glock, SIG, a couple of FN models. You know, I think there's a Beretta on there, and but anyhow, it also comes with these two swabs. So if you're, you know, you get your light and your laser there, this can just go on there and clean it out if you need to. And then it also comes with the little warning laser sticker there. Ooh. Okay, here's what it was saying. So the green beam intensity is 5 milliwatts peak, 515 to 532 nm, class 3R laser. Beam dot size is approximately ½ an inch diameter at 50 feet, and I would say that's about right. One CR2 lithium battery gives 2 hours of illumination. So I don't know if that's just the light, like 2 hours just off the light, or what, or the light and the laser. The light intensity they list in lumens. It's 100 lumens. It's not super bright, but depending on what you're doing, it's probably enough. If somebody pops up in front of you, it's enough to identify before who it is before you pull the trigger. And then activation type is, they say it's instant with a auto shut off at 5 minutes. So if it does accidentally turn on, it won't immediately kill your battery. 3-year full warranty. Okay, and it says the laser must only be operated with safety label applied to the firearm, but it doesn't give a specific law. It's just that part that was on there, that 21 CFR. So I don't know, maybe you do have to. I guess I'll put it on there. You know, you don't want to be caught with a non-compliant accessory for your firearm. It also does come with this, and a lot of companies do that. It's 4 basic safety rules for gun safety there. So I'll leave that up for a few seconds. If you're new to guns, always obey these rules. Even if you're not, you always should. Okay, so when I get to the range part, I actually put this on a rifle today too. The part with the video for it being on a handgun, it was actually recorded about a month before I'm recording this part today. I did manage to put it on a rifle, and I think I put, what was it, 150 rounds through this pistol on the video with this laser mounted to it. And then today I had 6 times 3, so that's 180 rounds of 223 ammo was put through the rifle with this mounted on it. So unfortunately I wasn't able to record the rifle portion, but I was checking the laser and the light, and it held the same zero and didn't cut out or shut off or anything. And looking at it now, you know, there's no signs of damage to it or anything. It looks like it held up pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with that. So thanks to Crimson Trace for putting that package together, and I'm happy with my product here. So okay, so they all come with a little tool like this, all of their lasers, and it's just a little itty bitty little hex wrench there, and you can see the little hole right here. There you go, that's better. And then this one down here, those are where you adjust it at using this included tool. Again, I can't show you because that would be considered instructional. Okay, some of the other features. So there is no cutout. So this is a battery compartment. You can't do like a quarter or half or even a full turnout to get it to not activate. It will just keep activating. It doesn't actually cut out until right at the end there, which kind of stinks for transport in a case or something if you don't have a holster to cover all this up. But it is good as far as usage goes, because should something happen, I've never had it happen, but should something happen and this starts to loosen, you don't lose your light and laser just because it loosened up 1/8 of a turn or something there. Okay, so the videos of shooting that I did get were all from the handgun, so I will speed that up because it's just me shooting, loading, and some of that will be cut, but the cutting will be the long delays, like reloading magazines. So we had 150 rounds for this, but I only had 5 magazines, 17 rounds each. So yeah, I had to load a couple of times. So I'll cut just to keep things a little bit shorter. So, all right, guys, any questions, go ahead and ask them, and give me a thumbs up if you found this helpful or interesting. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. I've got more videos coming. I'll be doing Enforce APL and the Crimson Trace tactical rail-mounted light. I believe that's CMR-208. And then, of course, I'll have some regular flashlight reviews coming up soon, too. I just bought my first set of stuff from Surefire. Never used any of their lights before. Well, I haven't owned them. I've used their lights before. And I got a couple of things on sale, so I was willing to spend a little bit of money. Most of their stuff, for what I personally do, I feel is overpriced. But so lots more stuff coming, and thanks for checking this out. I forgot to mention something very important. The reason I went ahead and decided to stay with the green laser over the red laser is the green laser is significantly more visible in broad daylight, in bright desert, full-on, middle of summer daylight. The difference is so significant that with the red model of this same product, in that bright desert sunlight, at about 3 to 5 feet is where I could no longer see the red dot at all, and past about 2 or 3 feet it just wasn't usable. Your eye wouldn't pick it up fast enough to use it. With this green model, I put it out to 15 yards, so that's 45 feet there. So 3 feet to 45 feet, and it was still very visible in that same really bright desert daylight. It's incredible, the difference. So if you're looking at buying one of these lasers, or even if it's from another company, if you can afford it, or if you can't afford it, maybe save up for a little bit longer if you're going to be putting it on some type of gun for competition or concealed carry that you would be carrying in daylight. I think it's worthwhile to save the extra money and get that green laser. Okay, so just to show you what this actually looks like when you're using it. Okay, so the gun has been cleared. So there's that. That's the light and the laser, so that's 100 lumens. I'm not far away, but you can see that would definitely be enough light to identify something should you have to pull the trigger. And you can see that the dot is not that big. That's just how the camera is picking it up. So now we've got just the laser there. And the dot is about, I mean, that looks huge, but with the naked eye it's about ½ an inch. So I guess just that single most intense part in the center is what I can actually see with my naked eye. The would it be called a bloom around it, I guess. That's just the digital camera of the phone picking it up there. And here we can see just the light. So if that's all you want to use, you have that for an option. And then here, that's the strobe with the laser, and the laser itself does not blink, in case you're missing that. It's just the light that blinks. It's just a strobe there.